Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to, I guess we could call this making the call. Just some key tips. I have at 8, and sometimes I may go over. It could be 8, it could end up being like 80, I don't know. But at any rate, what I want to do is I've had a lot of questions. What do I say? I don't know what to say. And oftentimes, what I've learned, guys, is if we don't know what to say, then of course, and the best thing for a lot of us is to not say anything at all. What's going on, Michael? So what I want to do, I'm going to share this to my page a little bit. I'm going to share it to make sure that people can see it, because for some reason, sometimes people do not see when I go live. So I'm going to share it now to make sure that people see it. And then we're going to dive straight into a little bit of training on what to say, because did I spell everything right in that? I think I did. Hey, Michelle, what's going on? Hey, Cornell. So we're going to be talking about making the phone call. We're going to be talking about meeting people, just, some of those things that come up. And of course, if you have any questions on a particular scenario, just let me know in the chat and I'll try to come up with that as well. What's going on, Taylor? How are you? Hey, Mustafa, Michelle, hey, Miss Marilyn, how y'all doing? What's going on, my people? Let's see. Sharing this, guys. Just want to get it out to a few people, and then we'll be ready to go. So just bear with me a second while I get it out to our primary groups, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. Okay, so what to say, and the interesting thing is that, it boils down to a few things that I think that actually have to happen before you even start talking. What's going on, Psalmist and Keith? Thanks for sharing the video. And if you have anybody that you feel like could benefit from this, go feel free. What works best for you, you can add and change it, because there's nothing hard and fast, right? Hey, thank you so much, Michelle. There's nothing hard and fast about it, but I made a list of the different types of invites that you would actually do. So I'm going to kind of try to track myself this time, right? I'm going to try to track myself. And so one of the things is, for a lot of us, what we'll do is we actually, when we get a new team member started, so let me label this as A. So we're going to call this A. And if somebody wants to track that and write it in the group, hey, Thomas, that'd be great. So A, hey, Michelle Blanton, A is going to be making the call for that team member. Making a call for the team member. And for, sometimes, guys, we'll ask for, 8 names, 5 names of people that love to travel, and then 3 names of people that that are sharp business-minded people. And let me make sure I share this to Dawn Brewer too, because I actually was trying to start this a few minutes ago. So let me make sure that she knows we're live. So I have, let's just say I have your list, and let's just say I'm making a call for Michelle, and Michelle, let's just say I'm calling Doris. All right. Now, Doris is somebody that you told me loves to travel. Doris is somebody that you told me absolutely loves to travel. Now, as Michelle's upline, hypothetically in this example, my goal is to get Doris to see information on, in this case, our membership. And so I would give Doris a call. Now the phone rings, Doris answers. What I want to know, well, let me backtrack, because I said there's some things that you want to do to prepare to make the call. And I think sometimes that part is the sticky piece, because when we get them on the phone, now what? So a couple of things that you want to do to prepare to make the phone call. And one of those things that you want to kind of do, guys, is you want to make sure that you've got your calendar, right? You've got your calendar handy, and you know what times you have available, especially if you're going to try to sit down with somebody. You want to know in your calendar, when are the webinars coming up, especially if you're going to try to direct them to a webinar, or if you're going to send them a particular video, you want to know what video am I sending them. So those are some of the things that you need to know going in. There is a specific script. If I'm going to talk to somebody about looking at the travel membership for savings and discounts, and there's a different script if I'm going to talk to them about, business. But then, guys, there is, I have to know a little bit about, right? I have to know a little bit about the person I'm calling. So let's just say Michelle said that Doris is an avid traveler. She loves to cruise. See, that's a difference. You know, some people love to do, you know, resorts. Some people love to do bus trips. I mean, you kind of need to know. So for those of you who will be giving one of your support team members your upline, your list, make sure you give us as much detail about the person as possible if we're going to make the call. Now, not every support member does that, or if they do it, they want to make sure you're on the line to listen to what they're doing so that you know how to do it for your team. However it's done, if you're going to be making that call, as the person making the call, you want to make sure that you've got as much information about your calling as possible. So, hey, this is going to be 2 examples of making the call. One, to a prospective person who would want to buy a travel product, and 2, to somebody who looks, you know, we're saying that person would love to make some extra income. So, all right, so the phone rings, Doris answers. I'm going to say this. I'm going to just use my phone as a prop, right? Hi, Doris, this is Janice Parker. We haven't had the pleasure of meeting, but Michelle Blanton and I were just talking about you. Michelle tells me you cruise queen, that you absolutely love cruising. Did Michelle tell me the right thing about you? Now, Doris, if Doris loves the cruise, Doris is going to say, something like, you know what, I sure do, girl. I just got back from, you know, a Crystal's Cruise Line cruise, and I'm going to go on a Disney cruise. She's going to say something that lends to what Michelle told me about her. And I'm going to say, fantastic. But listen, the reason for my call, and I will be brief, I hope you have a couple of minutes. Sure, go ahead. Now, you know, likely if I've given her some type of compliment, or I've spoken to her in her language, which is cruises, she's going to be willing, right? She's going to be willing to talk to me. So I said, listen, I'll make this very brief. Michelle, I was speaking to Michelle about an amazing membership where we're showing people how to save 30, 40, even up to 60%, 70% on vacationing. She told me you would appreciate the information that I shared with her. Is that true? Right now, notice I'm kind of getting permission to move forward. She said, oh, absolutely. The more money I can save, the more money I travel, the more I can travel. Fantastic. Listen, there are a couple of ways that I can get the information to you. One is that I can actually send the information to you by text and let you watch a video. But what I would love to do is just get on a quick webinar, you and I would love to walk you through our membership and just compare the prices to some of those other websites and just show you how powerful it is. Let her choose. She says, well, listen, you know, I'm very busy, but you could send me a link. Now, here is where, guys, you know, with making the call, you still got to remember, this is from Eric Worre with GoPro, right? And making that call, she says, I can send her the link. I would say to her, you know what? It takes about 22 minutes to go through the membership webinar. When do you think you could watch it for sure? Doris says, well, you know what? Today's Monday. Oh, I'm sorry. Today's Tuesday. Probably tomorrow evening after church, about 8 o'clock. Fantastic. So this is what I'm going to do, Doris, just to make sure that my text doesn't get lost in your thread. I'll send it to you tomorrow night at about 7:45. Okay. Just so that you can watch it. And then what would be the best time for us to get back on the phone? Tomorrow night after you watch it, or on Thursday? So notice I'm giving her options, right? Because I don't know what her life is like. She may say, well, neither one of those are good for me. How about Friday morning? I'll look at my calendar and I'll say, okay, Friday I am good at 11, and I'm good at 1 p.m. Which works best for you? So notice there's a dialogue, right? There's a dialogue between me and her. She's going to choose the time. Now, why am I letting her choose the time? Because this is her appointment. I want her to remember and to in her head schedule this appointment, right? Because that subconscious will kick in to remind her. So she says, okay, you know what? I'll take the 11 a.m. That's perfect. Great. Should I call you back on this number or call you on the office number? Notice the ors, right? I'm giving her the ors. She says, well, you know what? This number is perfect. Fantastic. So here's what I got. And I'm just going to make a note of this, Doris. I'm going to send you the membership video tomorrow night about 7:45. You'll definitely have a chance to watch it for sure. And we'll get back on the phone on Friday at 11 a.m. for sure. Is that right? Notice the for sure. And for sure. I think Eric Worre is genius with that. Why? Because what it does is it syncs, it plugs it into her brain. But then I'm going to say to her this. I'm going to say, Doris, now should I remind you about our call on Friday? Because I understand that you're a very busy person. Should I shoot you a quick text just to remind you I'll be calling you in 15 minutes? Girl, and if she's like me, I'll tell you that's a good idea. Because any of you ever like remember somebody's birthday and then on the day of their birthday, not their birthday? Well, people forget. Life happens. So give them the benefit of the doubt by be that person who will remind them. So now when I hang up with Doris, here is the next thing. I'm going to put Doris in my calendar. So on tomorrow night at 8:15, I'm going to text Doris a video. On Friday, I'm gonna go further. I'm going to go over here to Friday. On Friday at 11 a.m., I'm going to call Doris. On Friday at 10:45 a.m., I'm going to remind Doris. But I'm not going to set appointment tomorrow, 7:45 p.m. Send Doris a video. Then I'm going to say, right? So I'm going to cancel that. Then I'm going to say, hey Siri, set appointment, text Doris for Michelle Friday, 10:45 a.m. Because I need reminders too, right? I'm going to cancel that one because I'm not really calling Doris. And then I'm going to say, hey, Siri, set reminder, call Doris 11 a.m. Friday morning. Right? Now, we've got our smartphone. Let's use our smartphone for what? Smart things. Because the thing that we've got to make sure we do is we call on time. We call on time. So that was a script. And you can make the script any way you want. But again, the more you know about the person when you make the call, the better. So we're still talking about making the call for a team member. What if the person says, well, this person is going to be somebody who loves to make money. This person, they're huge in the community. Everybody loves them. They love to make money, right? Now, notice, okay, and in everything, the reason you make the call is to book a meeting from a meeting, even if it's a phone call. So let's just say I am calling Tamara, and I'm calling Tamara for Jeffrey. I'm calling Tamara for Jeffrey. So Jeffrey knows. He sent me a list of people, and then I said, Jeffrey, can you just like give me a little bit more information about those people? And so Jeffrey sent me who they were, his frat brother, his sister, his best friend, information that would help me. So let's just say Tamara is in the choir at his church. They've known each other since they were knee-high to a ducktail. Tamara is a mover and shaker in the Baltimore market. So Tamara answers the phone. I said, good evening. Now, Tamara's last name was, let me just see, Tamara Dillard. Okay, so I'm going to speak to her a little bit differently, right? And so Tamara answers the phone. She's likely to say something like, Tamara Dillard. And I'll say, good morning, good afternoon, Miss Dillard. This is Janice Parker. How are you? And she's probably going to go, I'm good. I said, Tamara, Miss Dillard, we haven't had the pleasure of meeting. As a matter of fact, I've had a very positive conversation with Jeffrey Lightfoot about you. And he's telling me that you're somebody who's kind of a mover and shaker there in Baltimore. I'm actually in the Virginia market. And that you're somebody, as I'm expanding into that area, somebody that I should actually know. Did Jeffrey tell me the right thing about you? Now I'm giving her compliments. And then when I say, did Jeffrey tell me the right thing about you? She's like, oh, absolutely. Well, you know what? I consider that. That's a very nice compliment. Fantastic. Well, look, Miss Dillard, I know I called you out of the blue. Do you happen to have a couple of minutes? And she's either going to say yes or no. If she said, well, you know, I apologize. I'm about to walk to a meeting. Miss Dillard, I totally understand that. Jeffrey told me you're a very, very busy person. Let me ask you a question. What would be the best time for me to give you a quick call back? And she may ask, what is this in reference to? And I'll say to her, well, I'm expanding a very, very powerful business platform in the area, but I'd rather have a conversation, you know, when you're free. I'm not going to give her a lot of information. Does that make sense? I'm not going to say, well, we're Surrey Street 65. None of that's going to happen, right? So she may say, whatever she says, well, you know what? Can you give me a call back this evening about 6:15? I can do that. Or she may say, sure, I have a quick minute. I'm going to say, well, fantastic. Well, listen, I was speaking to Jeffrey, and I asked him because we're expanding a very, very powerful business platform into the marketplace. And we're actually powered by travel, which is an $8.1 trillion industry. I asked Jeffrey, was there anybody that he knew that might be open to earning an extra $2,000 to $4,000 per month part-time, and he suggested I give you a call. Right? So I'm gonna preface it by letting her know, my company is looking for people that are looking to earn extra 2 to 4. And here's another one. Jeffrey tells me that, I told Jeffrey our company is looking for some people that be open to earning $2,000 to $4,000 extra income per month, and that you may know somebody that I should talk to. Now, I didn't ask her. I took it away from her like Christopher Koch. I took it away from her. Who do you know that might be able to? So the conversations are a little bit different based on that, right? Now she says, well, you know what? As a matter of fact, Jeffrey knows I'm always open to taking a look at new business opportunities, right? She may say something like that. And so to that, I would say, well, fantastic. Well, what I'd love to do is actually just kind of, and I know you're in Baltimore, I'm in Virginia. What I'd love to do is just kind of share a little bit about what we're putting together. And if you like what you see, fantastic. And if not, maybe you can refer me to some people who may like what I'm going to share with you. Again, I'm not like after her, right? So she says, well, fantastic. And then I need to know in my calendar, when are my Zoom webinars? So I'm just going to show you guys. That's not good. All right. So I'm just going to show you guys, on my monthly calendar for December, I've already got that mapped out. And so I've got to know, when are my Zoom webinars? Like, when is all this stuff going to be taking place? And then when she tells me when it's going to be taking place, then I'm going to go ahead and when I tell her, I said, well, you know what? I'm actually going to be doing a webinar tonight at 7 p.m., tomorrow night at 10, and then again on Thursday at 1 p.m. What works best for you? And she said, well, you know what? I can move my lunch on Thursday. How about you pencil, how about Thursday? I said, fantastic. Should I pencil you in or should I ink you in? Now, what am I asking her? Are you for sure? Right? And so she says, no, definitely. So I'll put it in at 1 p.m., right? I'm going to put it in at 1 p.m. on Thursday. And I'm going to say now the presentation will probably last 45 minutes. Will you and I have an opportunity to speak immediately after or sometime later on Thursday? More than likely, fantastic. What's the best time later Thursday night for us to get together? She says, is 10 o'clock okay? Because I just have so much that I do, when I get home. Fantastic. So 10 p.m. on Thursday, you'll be on the webinar for sure at 1 p.m. And she says, great. I said, well, listen, this is what I'm going to do. Probably about 30 minutes to 45 minutes before the webinar, I'll shoot you that webinar link, but I'll remind you about the webinar earlier in the day. Is that okay with you? She says, fantastic. But I'm putting it on my schedule. I said, great, right? So listen, I look forward to sharing with you on Thursday at 1 p.m. and then speak with you on Thursday night at 10 p.m. Fantastic, for sure, correct? And she says yes. So I let her make the appointment. Now, what do? Hey, Siri, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set that appointment. Does that make sense, guys? So when you're making the call, again, it makes it easier if it doesn't feel like it's a cold call. If your team members will give you enough information about that call, what's going on, Alicia? Enough information about that call, then what happens is when you make the call, it's not as cold of a call. A compliment, guys, will get you a lot further along the road than if you just make the phone call and say, hey, Jeffrey said you might be interested in make some extra money. You know what I mean? You want to compliment that person, especially if that person is somebody who is a mover and shaker and they love to, they're loving to earn income and things of that nature. So that's number one. And that is on making the call for a team member. What if you are inviting somebody? And again, guys, the book that I recommend is Go Pro. And that's our book of the month for next month. And we may go back to reading some of that on Facebook. We'll see how my schedule plays out. But what if you're inviting somebody to a webinar? Whether you're inviting people to a webinar or a conference call, the key thing I think is in is in making sure it's not like it's something that you're giving to them, and you don't want it to seem like it's something that happens all the time, every week. You've got to make the event you've got to be done where you make that event exclusive. It may not, they can't feel like, oh, well, if I don't come this Monday, I can come the next Monday or the Monday after that or the Monday. It can't be that way. It has to be that there is some exclusivity to it. And so, when you make, one of the things that you want to know is before you've got to have a calendar laid out of what you want to invite them to. So let's start with your home meeting. Let's say you're going to have a home meeting, and you're going to invite somebody to, and let's just say I've got one this weekend. I think we call it a coffee and cake travel mixer, right? So we call it a coffee and cake travel mixer. There are several ways that you can invite to that. Now remember, you have different degrees of people in your life, and so for some people, you can pick up the phone and say, "Girl, listen, I'm gonna have a coffee and cake travel mixer at my house this weekend. I need you to be there, and I need you to bring some chips." Right? You can have that conversation, and she's not gonna ask you a whole lot because you have a list of people that whatever they're coming to anyway, it doesn't matter. But then you have some people that may be like your colleagues, some people from work, some people maybe from church or the PTA, and you don't have as personable a rapport with that person. So a couple of things that you can do. Now, here's the funniest one that takes the pressure off of you, right? Here's the funniest one. So one of the things that you can say is, listen, I'm launching, my own travel agency this weekend. It's going to be on Saturday. It's very private and very exclusive. So, I'm inviting you, but I really don't have the ability to have you invite anybody else. But I need your support. I'm launching this company. It means a lot to me because, I've wanted to put my daughter through private school. And just now, I just feel like it's really important that I do that. Can I count on you to be there? The people love to buy into other people's dreams, other people's visions, other people's goals. And so if you tell them why you're doing it and it comes from a heart space, a lot of people will just come to support you. Now, the funny one is this. I did this one at Train the Trainer. The funny one is to say, "Hey, Troy, this is Janice. How are you? Listen, I am going to be having a travel presentation this weekend and a travel mixer. It's called a coffee and cake mixer. Would love to have you there because my mentor said if I have 10 people in the room, 8 people will tell me no. Troy, do you mind coming just to be one of my no's?" That one throws people off because it's like, why do I have to be the no? But it also takes the pressure off them. You just need people in the room to make the room full. And so there's no pressure on them that you want them to be part of your team. But one of the key things, particularly if you're inviting to like a coffee and cake, tea and chips, whatever mixer, or any kind of home meeting, is to ask people to bring something. So let's just say I called Rivers Taylor. And I said, "Hey, Rivers, this is Janice Parker. How are you?" And Rivers said, "Hey, girl, what's going on?" I said, "Listen, Rivers, I'm actually having a very private, but a little bit of, a fun event. It's kind of exclusive, though, to some of my closest friends. It's a coffee and cake mixer this weekend. It's going to be on Saturday at 3:00. Listen, I would love to have you attend." Rivers said, "Well, let me see what I can do." So Rivers, it would mean a lot for me if you could attend. He says, "Well, you know what? I'm going to do my best to be there. I just got to move some things around." I said, "Great. Rivers, do me a favor. Do you mind grabbing like a small box of cookies or a small pack of cookies, something maybe from the dollar store, nothing elaborate. I'll pay you when you get here." Rivers says, "No problem." I said, "Fantastic." So Rivers, I'm just going to make a note and I'll probably send you a reminder or maybe get somebody to call you and remind you. Is that okay? He says, "Great." Now, the commitment for Rivers is probably that he's bringing cookies. It's probably not so much to come to my event, but that he's bringing the cookies. So let's just say you have a list of 40 people you're going to bring something. Now, let me tell you why that works like magic. Number one, when you say private and exclusive, that singles them out from everybody else. When if they say, "Well, can I bring a spouse?" and you say, "Well, you can bring, sure, you can bring one person, but it is kind of private, so just your spouse, okay?" Now you're narrowing it down to something that's really, really, really exclusive and private. But if you say, hey, I'm having a travel party this weekend, why don't you come and invite some people? Then there's no exclusivity, there's no privacy, there's no urgency because it's just a general anything. Right? So I like to tell people I'm having something very exclusive and private. But what is the magic behind asking them to bring something? The magic is, right? The magic is that they will show up to bring your chips, right? Because they don't want to let you down bringing your chips. but it also sets up the person who does your validation call. So make a note of this. Sidebar. Somebody else to do your verifications. Stop calling people and saying, are you still coming? That is not the phone call for you to make. That is the phone call for somebody professional that can handle that call for you. For example, let's just say Mike Navarro is having the travel mixer. Sharonica and Rivers and John Etter are coming to his travel mixer, right? So he sends me the name, he sends me their name and their phone number and what they're bringing. So let's just say John is bringing chips. Sharonica is, what's going on, superstar? Sharonica is bringing ice, and let's just say Rivers is bringing cookies, right? So when I call to confirm for Mike, it's not like Mike can't call, but they're likely to blow him off before they'll blow somebody off they don't know. So I'll call and say, hey, John, this is Janice Parker. We haven't had the pleasure of meeting. I understand we'll meet you at Mike's Coffee and Cake Travel Mixer this weekend. He said, oh, yeah. Oh, shoot, when is that? I said, remember, it's Saturday at 3 o'clock. Do you have the flyer? Yeah, I think he sent it to me. No worries. I'll send it to you again. Listen, John, I just wanted to verify that you are still bringing the chips, right? You are still bringing the chips. Now, I didn't ask him if he's coming. I asked him if he's bringing the chips. Why? Because if he says yes, I know he's coming, right? So now he says, yeah, absolutely. And send me the address again. I said, fantastic. By the way, John, would it be a good idea for me to send you a reminder on Saturday early afternoon? Yeah, please do, right? I'm not above sending him a text, okay? So now I call Sharonica and I say, hey, Sharonica, what's up? This is Janice Parker. I won't say what's up. I don't know her. Hey, Sharonica, this is Janice. We haven't had the pleasure of meeting, but I understand you're going to be at Mike's Travel Mixer on Saturday. Yeah, that's right. He said, yeah, listen, I apologize. I'm calling because Mike's running around trying to get everything taken care of. He just wanted me to remind everybody, make sure they had the address, make sure they had the time. And by the way, you're still bringing ice, correct? Oh, yeah, thank you for reminding me. He did ask me to bring ice. Fantastic. Listen, Sharonica, I've heard great things about you. Look forward to meeting you. Then I call Rivers. Hey, Mr. Rivers, this is Janice Parker. We haven't had the pleasure of meeting, but I understand I'm going to meet you at the Coffee and Travel Mixer that Mike is having this weekend. Fantastic. Well, listen, Mike said to remind you, you are bringing the cookies, correct? Oh, yeah. Any particular type? No, he just said grab $1 back of cookies. He'll pay you when you get there. Oh, he ain't got to worry about that. Listen, Rivers, I look forward to meeting you. Now, somebody says, oh, man, I can't make it. Am I going to say, why can't you make it? No. If he gives me a list of people and somebody on that list says I can't make it, hey, listen, it's no problem. Listen, it really is no problem. Stacy, maybe I'll get a chance to meet you next time. And I'm gonna get off the phone. Then I'm a text of everybody who confirmed, everybody who now cannot come, and the people I did not get in touch with. Which means Mike should get that list to me. If his event is on Saturday, I should probably get that list on Friday, right? It doesn't have to be your upline support member, but somebody that can carry a professional conversation and not embarrass you should get that list. Guys, you increase your chances that person will show up by 60% by asking them to bring something, and you increase the chance that they will follow through with that commitment if you ask somebody else to verify that they're coming, not just you, okay? Because sometimes, Shavonna, they'll blow us off, but they won't blow off the person that is expecting them to be there. Okay. Now, what if you had somebody sharp? Mike might say that, listen, Shavonna is a school teacher. She's real sharp. She's real strong in the community. I may say to Shavonna, listen, hey, Shavonna, this is Mr. Parker. We haven't had the pleasure of meeting, but Mike tells me that I'll get a chance to meet you at his travel mixer this weekend. Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Well, listen, I've heard some very, very positive things about you, Shavonna. Is it possible for me and you to could you come in and maybe about 10, 15 minutes early so you and I can kind of have an ex parte conversation before everything starts? Oh, fantastic. That's what you're going to do for the people that Mike looks up to, is make them feel even more special by wanting them to come a few minutes early so y'all can have a conversation. So if you're inviting to a travel mixer, if you're inviting to a weekly meeting, if you're inviting to a Zoom, right? If you're inviting to what else was I going to say? Any type of event where, like, let's say the Zoom presentation is not just one we have all the time, but one you're particularly having for yourself. Get somebody else to do those verification calls for you. Does that make sense? Get somebody else to do those verification calls. Now, so that kind of seals up people showing up. Now, another thing that you can do is listen. I've connected with this lady out of Texas. She's doing some major things. As a matter of fact, she is the all-star for her company. I would love for you to meet her. She's actually going to come by my house this coming Thursday at 7 o'clock. Would there be a chance that I could introduce the two of you? Now, I just invited them without saying you're coming to a meeting. I've invited them to meet Sharonica, somebody who's making it happen in their company. I haven't said what the company is. I haven't said what she does. I've just made her larger than life. Everybody wants to know somebody that they don't know. If you got a weekly meeting, listen, there's a pastor and his wife that are really doing a lot to help people to earn extra income, to build businesses, to create, to fund nonprofit organizations. Somebody that's a heavy network in Rose, Virginia area, I think you should know them. Now that makes them feel like, oh, okay, right? And so now I didn't invite them to a Monday meeting. I invited them to meet somebody that's making some things happen in the Hampton Roads market. Sometimes invite them to meet people, right? Invite them to meet somebody. Like if I want them to meet Vaughn, my mentor, I'm going to say he's a 7-figure earner in this company, one of the top producers in what he's doing. You and I need to know this guy. I would love, it's private, but I can get you in. I can get you there to be my guest, but I need to know for sure that you can attend. Yeah, does that make sense, guys? So sometimes inviting them to meet somebody. I was talking to Taylor the other day, and she was saying that sometimes give people the benefits. So let's just say I know my cousin. My cousin's student loan debt is $109,000, right? So I may say, hey, cousin, I've stumbled onto something that I think you should see. And that may be able to help you to eliminate some of your student loans a little bit quicker so that you can come out from under that stress. Now, what about giving her the benefit of seeing whatever it is to get rid of something I know she wants to get rid of? Okay, so sometimes you can approach people based on about them that they may want to fix. That is a powerful thing. With any of your invitations, right? With any of your invitations, set the follow-up in the invitation. So let's just say I just invited somebody out to meet Sharonica. Okay, she's company, she's a top producer, she's making some stuff happen in Texas, right? So listen, so when I say, they said, well, no, I would love to be there. I said, well, listen, it's going to be spiffy business attire, so look sharp, okay? Because I definitely want to make sure that you guys make a connection. So kind of want to, impress her with you. I would bring a notebook if I were you. Give people some instructions, right? Even if you invite them to a Zoom webinar, tell them to have a notebook and pen. Why? Because you're putting an importance on whatever it is that they're going to be listening to. But I'm going to say, look, spiffy business attire, make sure you bring a pen and pencil. Try to get there maybe about 5 minutes early. Hopefully I can introduce you to her before the event. You've got to make Sharonica a big deal so that when they meet her, they're like, hey, Miss Sharonica, right? Not like, oh yeah, she one of our national builders. They don't know what that is. But if you make her a big enough deal, then she can make the presentation a big enough deal to impress them that they want to be part of whatever it is that she is a part of. So give them, a few instructions and then say, listen, the event is going to probably run from 7 to 7:45. We'll probably mix and mingle a little bit, but when do you think you and I should connect again? Or if it's a Zoom webinar is going to run for about 45 minutes. When will be the best time for us to get back on the phone? That night or, in a couple, or the next day. Give people options, but try to book your follow-up before, during the invite. That's what a professional does. They don't wait till after to try to book the follow-up. Try to book the follow-up prior to the actual event. Now, in some case, like a travel mixer, you're going to book that meeting at the meeting. A weekly meeting, likely you're going to book that meeting at the meeting. But if you've got a webinar or you've got, a conference call, you can book the follow-up, right? You can book the follow-up pretty easily right then. Okay. So those are some of the tips that I wanted to give you on inviting people to to a presentation, to a webinar, to a hotel event, a travel party, making a phone call for somebody else. And the last thing I want to do before we jump off of here, the last thing I want to do is, some people say, well, coach, I've exhausted my list. Now, first things first, I don't think anybody has exhausted their list, right? I mean, now, if you've been in business for 5 or 6 years, quite possibly. Most of us never put everybody on. I'm flashing, y'all. I'm sorry. Most of us never put everybody on our list anyway, right? We've never done it. We put the people that we were most comfortable talking to on our list, or the people we thought needed it on our list. So what I want you to do is go back. And if you want to go to surgechampions.com, guys, there is a memory jogger under the resources and download tab. There's a prospect tracking sheet, which I think is wonderful. Here's one I just printed off today, but you see how it has, you have a lot of information that you can actually track right there, right? Thank you very much, Sharonica. But I'm going to challenge you to dump your cell phone. If they're in your cell phone and you've never called them, they need to be on that sheet of paper. We got to get a bunch of y'all to Punta Cana. So we want to make sure that you have an opportunity to reach out to them, but you won't if they're not on your list. So take them out of your phone and then put them on your list. But what if you feel like, okay, well, I pretty much called all those people. I'm not comfortable calling them again, whatever the case may be. So I'm going to talk to you about the 10 bracelet program, the 10 bracelet program, right? So now for guys, it's called the 10 penny program, right? For girls, 10 bracelets, because we're not going to have pockets all the time. So let's look. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know what's funny, Sharonica? I threw one of these on my wrist that was actually an earring. The earring's so big I thought it was a bracelet. But anyway, side note. Okay, so what is the 10 bracelet program? That is where, or the 10 penny program, and it can be any number, it's totally up to you. But that's where you have to deliberately go out every day and meet whatever that goal is. So if your goal is three a day, then you will put 3 bracelets on your left wrist, right? If it's 5 a day, then you will put 5 bracelets on your wrist. If it's 10 a day, then you will put 10, right? A lot of top producers, their goal is to meet 10 people a day. Not talk to 10 people about their business, just meet 10 people a day. When you've met somebody and you got their contact information, the bracelet goes on the other wrist. And so as you go through your day and you're meeting people, the bracelet comes off one wrist and it goes on the other wrist. Or the penny comes out of one pocket and it goes into the other pocket. And a lot of guys, they'll color the pennies. So these are not pennies I'm spending. These are my gold pennies. These are the pennies I'm putting in my pocket. So how do you meet people? Oh my God, what do I say if I'm meeting people? Well, number one, the travel survey, surgechampions.com, downloads travel survey. The travel survey is easy, and I have a whole 2-part training on the travel survey. But that's an easy way to meet people. It's so easy. Hey, listen, I'm a travel agent in training. One of my responsibilities is to get, 5 people a day to actually just fill out a travel survey. It takes about 2 minutes. Could you do me a huge favor and just fill one out for me? Now, that's a very simple thing, and you've got a whole bunch of information on that travel survey, right? Go out there in the marketplace, and if you're not comfortable doing anything else, just do that. Do 10 a day, right? Bracelet comes off one wrist, goes on the other. Penny comes out of one pocket, goes in the other. But let's just say you want to meet people. I wanted you to just take business out of your head and become a friend. Go make 10 friends a day. I'm not going to go meet 10 new surge prospects, 10 new whatever prospects. I'm going to go and make 10 friends. Now I personally, as I talk, I very rarely get it from saying hello to business. I very rarely do. I'm going to get to know the person. And the best way to get to know is to compliment them. So if I met Rose, right? I need to buy some more bracelets, right? If I met Rose, I'm going to say, hey, Rose, let's just say she was, I don't know, we're in Pier 21 and she's looking at some pillows. And I would say, this is not a bad sale. I love that one that you're looking at. And she said, yeah, this This is really pretty. I was thinking about, I'm going to put this in my sunroom. That's what, that makes a very, very nice sunroom pillow, and we just have some casual conversation. And then I said, I'm sorry. My name is Janice. She says, oh, my name is Rose. And nice to meet you, Rose. And Rose, are you actually from around here? She said, yeah, as a matter of fact, my husband is in the military. He just moved into the area. And so I'm kind of just trying to, but that's fantastic. Welcome to the area. You have your children going to be going to school. You know which schools that they're going to go to already? Yeah, they said they're going to be going over to Warwick High School. So you have high schoolers. I'm going to start a conversation with her. Now, I'm always looking at my watch because the person who's going to be in the hurry is not Rose, it's going to be me. And so I'm going to conversate with her. I'm going to ask her things about her family, what she does for a living, what they like to do for fun. And then some people say, deliver the message. I'm going to get a phone number. I'm saying, listen, Rose, I've got to run, but it was just so nice meeting you. Welcome to the area. Maybe we should do coffee sometime. Oh, that would be lovely. Well, listen, let me do this, Rose. I'm going to text you my contact information. I'm going to shut up. Why? Because I'm waiting for her to give me what? Her phone number, right? I'm waiting for her to give me her phone number. And so she said, oh, okay. 757-123-4567. Fantastic. So I'm going to put it in there and I'm going to shoot her. I'm going to shoot her my information, which I have stored in my phone. I've got in my phone as a contact. I'm in my phone. Janice Lisa Parker. My email address, my cell phone number, all of that is in there. So all I got to do is send her a contact. So I'm just going to pull up my name, hit share contact, send it to her. And then, right now she has my information, but more importantly, what? I have hers. Some people don't like, they're afraid to ask for a phone number. So you can ask them, are you on Facebook? Oh, yes. Well, let me message you. Pull them up in Facebook and Messenger, let them select which one is them, and then do the wave or whatever you're going to do. Hey, this is Janice, met you today at Pier 21, but I've just made a new friend. I didn't go out there and recruit her. I made a new friend. Now, as soon as she's gone out of my eyesight, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to store Rose Hall, moved into the area, son at Warwick High School, daughter in college. She was wearing a pink shirt and black pants. She was buying pillows. I'm going to put as much information in my notes under her name as I possibly can. Why? Because I'm not going to remember. Matter of fact, I'll forget her name before we get to the car. So I'm going to hurry up and put that stuff in my phone. Then on the tracker sheet, I'm going to put her name up there. And because I either want to share a video with her, send her a video. I want her to see if she watched the video. 3-way call, presentation, webinar, home party, in-person presentation. They joined. But I'm going to put her here so I can make sure she's on that list. And then I'm going to take the bracelet off and I'm going to go to another one. Now, let's just say I may have a conversation where the lady says, yeah, she may say, yeah, she's a teacher over at Warwick High School. And I said, oh my gosh, you must be making all the money. Now, why do I say that? Because I know she's going to say, girl, no. No, as a matter of fact, I've been looking for some extra, to earn some extra income. I'm not going to say anything right then. But right before I go, oh my goodness, I got to get out of here. Listen, you know what? Patricia, it was great talking to you. But you know what? You mentioned something about wanting to earn some extra income. I may know a gentleman who's actually, he runs a travel agency. Or I may know a gentleman who's doing big business in the area that I might be able to introduce you to. If I could make that connection, Patricia, would you want me to introduce you to him? Oh, that would be great. Do you know what he does? Well, listen, he's probably better at explaining that. I've got to go, but let me do this. Let me send you my contact information. Oh, okay. Area code 347-123-456. All right, fantastic. Listen, that's my information. I'm gonna go ahead. What's your last name, Patricia? Okay, and you said you're a teacher, right? Anything else I should let them know about you? Okay, so you're coachable and you've got leadership skills. Okay, so I'll just let them know that, and hopefully I can make the connection and maybe he can help you. Now, what am I doing? I'm not giving her to somebody. I'm not gonna let Vaughn, my mentor, know I just met this lady. She doesn't know what I do. She knows what you do. I need you to make that phone call and connect with her. He connects with her. She decides, yes, she wants to be a part of the team. He puts her on, he sponsors her on my team. But what I did was I took the pressure off of myself, because if I said, I may be able to help, now she's gonna ask me a bunch of questions. that you may not be ready for the answer for, but you can put it off on, I may know somebody who can help you. Or you could be like Dr. Christopher Coakley, and you could say, listen, you're real sharp. My name is Janice. What do you do? And they tell you what they do. Really? Are you from this area? Oh, okay. All right. So what do you do? You worked here for how long? I mean, you look very, very professional. What exactly do you do? They tell me, so well, listen, my company is looking for a couple of, maybe 5 or 6 people that may be open to earning an extra $2,000 to $4,000 a month. Do you know somebody like that I could talk to? Again, I'm not on top of them about them me sharing it with them. Is there somebody who do you know I should talk to? Most people are going to say, well, you know what, I would love to hear about what you're talking about. Or they may say, well, I may know some people. Say, well, fantastic. Listen, let me do this. Now, you can't give them a business card and get their number. How you do it doesn't matter. I just like sharing my contact information. So let me do this. Let me share my information with you. I'll be in touch with you within the next 24 to 48 hours. If you haven't heard from me, give me a call. But then I would love to share with you what we're doing. So if you know somebody you can refer me to, that'd be great. Again, you're still going to get a presentation, right? But they just think that it's just about somebody they know. And it may be because they're not interested. But either way, the bracelet comes off this wrist and goes on this one. So whatever you do, if you can, if you can if you're going to go to business, if you're going to go out there like Dr. Coakley and just get people who are interested in learning about earning the extra income, then you can use his speech, which is, our company is looking for 3 to 4 or 5 people that are interested in earning an extra $2,000 to $4,000 a month. Do you know anybody that I should talk to? You can do that, and it still takes the pressure off of you. But don't put the pressure on yourself that you got to feel like you got to go out and explain your business before you even know if they qualify, right? So you can meet people if you have to meet people. But guys, don't forsake digging into your team's list. Because as Coach says, you don't have to make a cold call. You don't have to make a cold call. You can make a warm call when you're helping your team members, right, to grow their teams as well. So I pray that you guys found value in that information. Thank you guys for chiming in. So if you found value, of course, I love the word value or the letter V. And of course, if you feel like this is going to benefit somebody else, share it with them as well. Let me make sure that there were no questions on anything in particular. All right. Rose Hall said 10 business cards a day. Buy her some more bracelets, right? Juliet, memory, it does rock. Thank you very much, Miss Taylor. It sure does. Thank you, Miss Karen. Thank you, Sharonica. Okay. Let's see. All right. Make it about them. Absolutely. Hey, y'all. For those of you who said hello, I was just thinking if there were any other questions. Thank you very much, Ms. Sharonica. I appreciate you, sweetheart. All right. So if there are no questions, thank you very much. Glad you enjoyed, guys. All right. Well, listen, it's been my pleasure to speak with you on this afternoon. Now it's time for me to make some phone calls, right? It's time. So I'm going to be making phone calls from now till about 9:30 p.m. my window. Guys, have an incredible rest of your evening. God bless you. This particular Facebook Live is officially over. We'll talk to you soon, guys. Bye-bye. Thank you, Rachel.